Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nashville here for the Thursday night Gen 4 series in Area 51. I'm Carl Henderson, filling in for Boomer Logan, and I'm here with Chris Matthews. Chris, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. It's a fun time. I have not raced this track too much, so it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys get around here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is probably like a top 5 track for me. I love this track. Haven't run it a ton. I've probably been here 3-4 times. Love running it. I love the way it feels. Should be a good one. Small field. We've only got 7 people tonight. But I'm just taking a perspective. Maybe the racing between these guys will be really good.
Yeah, I think when I think about this track, obviously it was off the calendar in real world for quite a bit of time, but I think one of its most famous features was a command or a ceremony that they had before the race happened. And that's something that, we don't necessarily had that in iRacing. I think in old NASCAR 2003, they used to have kind of something like that. But this race will be pretty jam-packed with, I think, some action.
Yeah, honestly, I was, in real life, I was a little surprised when I heard that Nashville was coming back. So I was like, oh, fairgrounds. And it's like, no, Nashville Superspeedway. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I completely forgotten it existed.
Yeah, it's one of those things that NASCAR just brought out. I think, a couple of years ago, and just watching how the cars race there now, I think it's actually had a couple of good races in real life, and obviously now that it's on the service in iRacing, leagues are using it quite a bit now.
Well, we are following James Ledford here. Going to set down his qualifying lap. We got Travis and Christian in the chat. That's a name familiar to me. Good to hear from you, Travis. So,
always good to have one of my teammates, up here talking to us in chat. It's nice to have him around.
Yeah, I want to know why he's not racing. He should be out here.
Yeah, I'd love to have him racing. I would commentate, give him all the curses I could.
We're going to take a look here as James Ledford sets his first lap, currently sitting P1. And, he is someone with this small field tonight, absolutely in championship contention, which, coming into tonight, you wouldn't necessarily expect it. I think he was sitting P5 in the standings. We'll have to see. Oh, that little loose there on the exit of 4. I think that's going to hurt his lap time pretty significantly. Yeah, he's about 0.3 off from his fast lap. But we'll have to see. I mean, so far, nobody ahead of him, but maybe they're running some slower laps to start things, and, maybe not.
Yeah, sometimes all you gotta do is get that first lap in and kind of have that lap in the bank. So if that's what he did, and I think he's beating the field at least by 2/10 right now. So it's good to get that first one in, then you can kind of mess up and go for broke on the second one.
Yeah, no, that's that. Oh, Kevin Freese just jumped ahead, but
wow.
Yeah, still a heck of a lap by Ledford there. If he can even start on the front row, that would be huge for him. But let's take a look, see if we can see Eric Lorry's coming in the pit. Not a whole lot of action to look at when you've only got a few people on the track. It says Maxwell Caldwell's on the track. I'm getting used to Boomer's control setup here. I'm not. Everything's different than how I have it set up.
And that's one of those things. You're filling in for another driver, another person in the booth. Things got to kind of move around. You got to figure out where your key binds and everything are at. But I'm sure you'll get it down.
Yeah, I'll probably have it figured out by the end of the race. So. See Vincent Guerrero, see if he's out. Oh, he's coming out. Okay, we've got someone on track. Coming out of pit lane right now. This is Vincent Guerrero.
Yeah, he might have waited for a little change in the temperature, or just for other people to kind of lay down the heater and try to get some rubber in the track.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he can do here. A lot of times, like I said, temperatures could be tire rubber, but also could just be like, you just sitting there looking to see what the times are so you can get an idea what your target is.
Yeah, if you know that you're going to be able to be close to the pack, or if you don't necessarily have a shot at a fast lap on the first shot, maybe you want to be as far back as possible, just to not be in the middle of the pack and kind of get yourself in trouble. But with such a low field, I think everyone really has a realistic shot to, be in a position that they want to be. As you know, when we have 40-car fields, 30-car fields. If you know that you're probably have a 14th place car, sometimes people will go ahead and try to go to the back and work their way to the front the hard way.
Well, honestly, I think tonight, if I were out there tonight, what I would be looking at is not qualifying, and the reason for that is, you get bonus points for most positions gained. So if you can go out there, you've only got 7 cars out there, like, go try to see what you can gain. But with that, let's go through our starting grid. Starting in first is Kevin Freese, and in second is Maxwell Caldwell. Third is James Ledford, and fourth is Gabe Butler. Fifth is Vincent Guerrero, and reporting sixth is Chris Matthews. That's not correct.
Just being around here.
Doing double duty, we'll see. Seventh is Eric Laurie, and eighth is Richard Bernius. So while we're getting waiting to start here, I'm going to pull up our points real quick because I'm expecting quite a shakeup due to the fact that our top 2 in points are not here tonight. Sebastian Marin, who has absolutely dominated this series, absent tonight. Ryan Kelly, though, has been right on his tail. Currently 45 points back, which is pretty huge, but he's not here tonight either. So that means the top guy tonight is Kevin Freese, sitting in third. Fourth is myself, not racing. Fifth is Josh Laston, not here. But tied for fifth is James Ledford, and that's what I was saying. Ledford has an opportunity tonight to potentially gain some massive points.
And that's why we always talk about participation in the seasons here. As long as you're here, you have good attendance, just like school. You should have a decent grades by the end of the year.
Yeah, and just looking at other people in the playoffs, I think Gabe Butler's in the playoffs. He's sitting in 7th. Eric Laurie's sitting in 8th. Yeah, it's all of our playoff drivers. So some opportunities for guys to make up some ground here. And honestly, I genuinely believe, when you're out there, you're just racing the people that are around you. It's not just about, I've got to win or whatever like that. So these guys have opportunities here, maybe not to win a championship or anything, but to say, hey, I finished second in an Area 51 season.
Yeah, definitely. When things are, definitely out here contention to bring the chip home, it's at that point it's basically bragging rights, and to see, what could have been had one or two things not gone your, had gone your way. So if you're someone that crashed early in the season and you kind of just chipped away at it, left and right on the points counter, once it becomes bragging rights, and you become that second place guy, that third place guy, and you kind of look at your season overall. Some people feel a lot better than actually winning a championship, where it's okay, some things were out of my control, but winning this championship was definitely a possibility had these two things gone right for me,
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, you said it was bragging rights. Really, there's no cash prizes I'm not aware of, so it's all for bragging rights ultimately, and that's why I felt okay coming out every week getting beat by Sebastian Marin.
Yeah, definitely. Sebastian Marin not here tonight, but usually that guy's gone. It's hard to see his rear bumper. I don't even think he really paints it for any advertisement or anything, because people don't necessarily see it. So, miss a lot of people here as we get ready to go green. But as 8 cars, we'll still have fun.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have a great time. Waiting for the green flag here. Green flag is out. Kevin Freese gets a huge jump, but that's 84 of James Ledford trying to hang on here.
Yeah, Kevin Freese had a really good jump there, as we see what I think in Nashville, these guys actually have multiple lines that they can run, which is, unlikely from what we've seen in years past from a couple other tracks that are around the size.
Yeah, I've never run it in this car, but you obviously that bottom line on fresh tires, you're going to want to be pretty close to the bottom, but you can raise up a half car length and get a little bit of launch on the exit. Ledford here, though, holding strong.
Yeah, real interesting to see this. Obviously, I'm not too experienced with this track, but it's very nice to see just a racecraft here that people have to do. I know, obviously, these Gen 4 cars have a lot more horsepower coming out the corner, so these guys have to be a little bit easy on their their lead foot, so to speak. But watching all these guys get around the track is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, oh, you see Leffler hit the wall there a little bit. It's going to cost him some time, but actually a position as well. But yeah, this car is it's a lot more difficult. It requires a lot more focus. I personally think that makes it the most fun car in the game. I had a blast running it, and I imagine these guys are having a really good time right now.
Yeah, just looking at where these guys are running, seems like the key right now, while the tires are good, is to be on that bottom line, and not everybody necessarily is nailing it. And you can see a little bit of a gap form between the 25 and the 94, as I think the 94 is going to get into this corner a little bit hot as he's going to try to search for some room here.
Yeah, the 94 Maxwell Caldwell there, trying to find something to make it work. Not a driver in the chase, but and as we mentioned before, the drivers in the chase are the ones indicated in green on the left there. But yeah, I mean, he's doing what he can to try to get up there and contend for his win.
Yeah, and it's fun to see these guys just try to find traction all around the track as slowly he's pulling in the 25. I'm not sure if the 25 is just kind of trying to not burn his tires off or anything like that, but we do have a battle for third, looks like it's forming.
Yeah, James Ledford under pressure here from Gabe Butler. We'll have to see if Gabe Butler is able to make the pass. We know that Gabe's a very, very good driver, especially at Superspeedways. We've seen him win a lot on Sunday nights. But yeah, we'll have to see what he can do here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And I think something I'm noticing is these guys, once they get a little bit close to the car in front of them, there might be a little bit of an aero wash, which I didn't necessarily expect with these cars, but it seems like you can't necessarily follow as tightly if you are at a certain distance, behind the next guy.
Yeah, and it could also be a degree of being conservative as well. I mean, these cars absolutely have some aero effects as you get closer. But usually it's manageable, but I'm going to guess what's happened here. Smaller field, that means that in practice you are less likely to have been around other drivers, so you're still trying to get a feel for what's going on behind something.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. Seeing the 94 drop back just a little bit, now it's becoming a almost 3-car battle for second place right now. Seeing Gabe Butler can kind of close the gap up there, but I see that gray ghost of James Ledford still running pretty strong.
Yeah, Ledford's looking good, and he's someone who I haven't been on track with him. He's usually got pretty decent long run speed, and also like a Gael Brooks, he's usually able to run a slightly different fuel strategy than a lot of people. So. But that being said, I don't think we're going to have any different fuel strategies tonight. From what I understood, we're looking at probably about 50 laps on a tank of fuel. So if we stay green, it should easily be a one-stopper with good strategy, assuming tires don't become an issue.
Yeah, sometimes those guys with fuel strategy kind of perks that they've been running, like James Ledford and Gael Brooks. A lot of times they don't get to showcase that strategy off, but when they do, man, it is a showcase of complete faith, a complete knowledge of math and what the car is going to do and things like that. And it's almost it's definitely a sweet science that these guys got. So when they are able to showcase things like that, it's amazing what they can do. And sometimes that translates into wins, sometimes it translates into comebacks that you didn't necessarily see these guys coming. So sometimes these guys can run around here and do some amazing things, even though they might not be the fastest guys on the track.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's part of it, right? I mean, a lot of times you choose to be a little bit slower in order to serve a little bit. But I'm keeping an eye on Maxwell Caldwell here. At least not that time. Okay, well, I was about to say he was starting to close in on Kevin Freese a little bit, but not quite that lap.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bubble right there, but looking at the rest of these guys, it's just such a good race that everyone's running. It's pretty amazing to me just to see what these guys can do, and I think it's honestly just because of what how frightening that car is, having so much horsepower and just a track like this that doesn't seem to be too well banked, but with the degree of knowledge that these guys have around this course. And the fact that this car has so much horsepower, these guys can definitely kind of just feather their way around the track and stay as close together as possible.
Yeah, 100%. I think I haven't run here in the this car, but I've run here in the ARCA car, and it does have a little more grip than you'd expect, but it's still a tricky track. It's a little different than the mile and a halfs we've run so far in the chase here, and it requires a bit more finesse.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking around here, just making sure all our guys are still on track. I see Eric Morgan and Vincent Guerrero they're just a little bit behind, lacking a little bit in the speed department, but it seems like they're still getting around okay as Gabe Butler is slowly closing in on James Lefford, and it seems like Maxwell Caldwell is trying to chase down Kevin Freeze again. So we got guys coming and comers and goers coming around here, and it seems like we still have a race on our hands for the lead.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but I'm wondering if perhaps Guerrero and Laurie had some issues at the start or something, because looking at their lap times, I mean, obviously they're slower, but they're not so much slower to be 12 seconds back, I don't think. So just wondering if maybe there's some issues at the start.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have enough cars to potentially cause a caution unless these guys up front decide to race each other very, very hard or make a very unforced error, as we like to call them. But with such a low crowd right now, I don't think these guys might not get that lucky break of a yellow.
Yeah, I agree. Which honestly, it's going to become a management piece, and to me, those are a blast because it's Kevin Freese obviously super fast right now, but is he wearing his stuff out? Like, is he leaning on that car too hard? Is he going to be giving up, taking the speed now and giving it up for later? And then of course green flag stops. If we don't have caution, we're going to have to do these stops on the green flag, which we don't see a ton at these shorter tracks.
Yeah, and I know that a guy like Maxwell Caldwell is probably thinking that to himself right now. He's like, hey, I'm starting to catch this guy. I wonder if he's trying to save his stuff, and I wonder if I should save my stuff, because at any given moment we could probably see Kevin Freese decide to lay down a very fast burner 3 times in a row, and all of a sudden that gap that he used to have is right back to where it was. So it could be a little bit defeating if Kevin Freese does that. As Maxwell Caldwell got a really good run off there, we might see a pass here in a sec.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I mean, I think when I'm the leader, I'm taking one of two strategies. If I think I can get far enough ahead of them that they don't have to draft, I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to conserve a little bit and try to force them to pass me. Because by them trying to pass me, they're going to wear their stuff out. And we'll have to see if that's the case here, or if Maxwell Caldwell is just faster at this point.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to see what's going to happen, because I don't think we've seen a legitimate pass yet so far in this race. But I would want to say that if you're if you're right behind where Maxwell Caldwell is at, you might want to dive inside to force that guy into somewhat of a dirty line. But it might be one of those things where you can make the pass outside and squeeze the guy to where he has to lift.
Yeah, I think there are options here, but the problem is, it's like you're going to have to probably drive it in a lot harder than you want to. Someone from the leader's perspective, what I would do, I'm in Maxwell Caldwell's perspective or position. What I'm doing is I am basically just going to sit as close behind him as I can. I'm going to utilize his draft. It's a shorter track, but there is a draft here. Ooh, it gets a little bit loose there on the exits. Going to give us some time there, but I'm going to conserve my stuff, give up a little bit in the corners, but then on the straightaways, I'll be able to gain it back due to the draft. And it gives you a slight advantage there, but and also, of course, it puts pressure on the guy in front of you.
Yeah, definitely. And just watching how he's working, I think if he's just slow and methodical, he just stays with him, he'll know if he has he'll know if he has a car to make this pass happen, or if he might have to try something a little bit extra, a little bit more risky or dangerous to make it happen. But it looks like he definitely has the pace to be up there and up front.
Yeah, it's a really tempting thing. You're running up here with the leader, and you just want to get in front. And I ran into it last week. I had my teammate Josh blasting in my ear, and I think I was running P4, and he was telling me like, back off, manage your stuff a little bit. But I was right there. I was like, oh, I'm just as fast as these guys, and then I realized I wasn't actually as fast as them. I was just not conserving as well as them. So it's difficult when you are that close to be able to say, okay, I'm going to back off a little bit and conserve my bike.
Yeah, and through Windows, at this point, I think it's a mental game. Obviously, you're using your physical abilities, and blood pressure might be, coming up. The heart rate might be coming up, and you're trying to just make sure you don't make a mistake to slip the car into the wall or anything like that. But I think right here, this is where that mental fortitude comes in, to where you just need to, methodically, slowly just inch your way up there to the bumper, figure out how to get by him, and not worry about necessarily, how much time is left in the race, considering we have not made a pit stop yet.
Yeah, well, we just had, we haven't really had many passes at all this race, but within like 5 seconds of each other, we had 2 passes. We're actually going to go back and look at a replay of that. First up, Gabe Butler getting past James Ledford. We'll see here James in that 84 up top, and I'm not sure if he was just letting him by. Maybe he came in a little too hot, but Gabe Butler comes in on the inside. I think Ledford may have been just being a little, yeah, I think he might have just been being a little safe there and just saying, you know what, you're faster than me, you go ahead. And then we're going to roll back here to Eric Laurie passing Vincent Guerrero for 5th. Looks like a pretty similar thing. Vincent Guerrero just staying high, Laurie getting under him, and just good clean pass. Good. We could have fit 3 more. Oh, Guerrero got loose on the exit. Bad loose. But
wow.
We could have fit 3 more cars in between them there.
Yeah, that's another thing. We don't necessarily talk about that much because the guy leading seems so confident, no matter where it is on the track. But another thing is, if you are fast and someone's catching you, that could put, a little bit of stress on you to, try to drive your car a little bit harder, a little bit faster. And that's how you do make those unforced errors and let the guy, go by you. So, we talked about how the front leaders, Kevin Freese and Maxwell Caldwell, were running so close together, and how much of a mental battle it was for Maxwell Caldwell. And this also might be a mental battle for Kevin Freese to try to keep him behind, as we've seen, multiple passes from these guys where, they decided not to, rough each other up or, slam into each other. So, it was good passes, a good one-for-one swap. And at that point, you kind of try to follow the guy behind you once he passes you, and follow him, and then see, what you might have been doing wrong, entry and exit wise.
Yeah, I personally, like, I do pretty well, I think, following, with the exception of a few times, like I said last week. I like seeing like what the person in front of me is doing, like having that rabbit chase is really good. I do terribly when someone's behind me. It always gets in my head that they are faster than me, and I either make a mistake or I back off too quickly and let them by. Having someone behind me is my worst nightmare.
Oh yeah, if I have somebody that's definitely faster than me and they're coming up from behind, I will always kind of let them go by, see what I'm doing wrong, and try to catch them. And then if I know that they either have faster tires or they're just really normally just faster than I am, it gives me a chance to learn, study, and figure out what I'm doing wrong. And I think that's the biggest thing, is to just figure out where my lessons I can learn on this track can be, and how to take advantage of that.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a question here, and it's going to be, who's your winner pick? And you're not allowed to pick Kevin Freese or Maxwell Caldwell.
Ooh, if I had to say a winner right now, Gabe Butler has been running well, but I think if James Ledford can just stay with these, with somebody like Gabe Butler, they're running pretty identical times, almost to the same time length. But I would say if James Leffler could just have the consistency and the pace, I think he actually has a shot to capitalize a win on this race.
Yeah, looking at lap times, I mean, Ledford has either, and actually Gabe Butler as well, have either burned up their stuff or they are in conservation mode now. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out when guys will start pitting. If you're doing a two-stop strategy, which we can do it one stop, if you're doing a two-stop strategy, I would have to think you're going to be pitting right up now.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I'd be thinking about pitting right now.
Oh, and we've got someone in. Vincent Guerrero.
Look at that.
Our first person to take it. Honestly, I as we sat here and watched it, I knew that, there's a possibility that we'd be doing a two-stop strategy. Only about 1 second differential from their best lap times. Actually, a little less than 1 second. So I don't know that a two-stop strategy is going to work out. But he could, you could also be looking at a possibility of you pit now, go out there, try to get back on the lead lap, and then a caution comes out and you see what happens.
Yeah, I think one of those things, we talked about a little bit how spread out these guys are. There's a lot more time that they can find in the pits. We got
Maxwell Caldwell also coming in, so Caldwell also trying the two-stop strategy.
It's worth the shot at this point. There's not that many cars that he might have to repass or anything like that, and there's always a potential for a yellow.
Yeah, I admire the ballsiness here. I was surprised it was Caldwell because he was keeping up with Kevin Freese, and I'm typically a little hesitant to give up the draft in the pit. And we've also got Eric Laurie coming in.
Everybody's coming in. I think people kind of saw where the strategy was going, and they decided to subscribe to it.
I am telling you, with my gut, I don't know what Kevin Freese or Gabe Butler is going to do, but I'm putting money on it. James Ledford's going to run this thing to at least 45.
We'll see. I think James Ledford, he's still doing pretty well in his pacing. He's not as fast as what Kevin Freese was doing, but the pace is still good. We'll see what these guys do now that somebody like Maxwell Caldwell's out, and they're pretty, about 6-7 seconds behind each other. Probably a little bit longer than that, but we'll see what the pace is right now.
Well, on paper, it's one of those things where if you're going to do a two-stop strategy, splitting it right down the middle on paper is the best way to do it. That will maximize your speed, but it doesn't always work out like that because obviously you have to pass people. There are things that can draft. There's a lot of complexity in it. And Ledford hits the wall a little bit there.
No, it all came undone then.
Yeah, it was a little brushed. I think he's fine. He was trying to stay out of the way of the guys on fresh tires and just brushed it a little bit. But, personally though, with this track, with how wide it is and how easy it is to pass, but there are opportunities to pass. If I'm doing a two-stop strategy, I'm probably going right about lap 45. Or sorry, one-stop strategy, I'm going about lap 45.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to spend too much time out on the track there, but you want to stay out as far as possible. And if you can get halfway with the tires and the fuel, you don't want to extend it any longer.
Yeah, and I mean, for the guys that pitted, so 32, yeah, they aren't going to make it based on the fuel number earlier. They'll be about 8 laps short if the fuel numbers I heard earlier were correct.
Yeah, and looking, we'll honestly know that once Kevin Freese goes in, and we'll kind of know what that line was. Because if these guys could possibly run, 4 or 5 extra laps past 45, there is a potential for these guys to kind of make it with one stop over there. But they be coming to fumes, honestly.
Yeah, 100%. We'll have to see.
Ooh, as Kevin Freese gets loose and hits the wall.
Oh, real issue with Kevin Freese? Not something you see out of him a lot.
Yeah, it looked like he just was maybe half a lane too high and just kind of, body slapped it a little bit. But I think he's good and still keeping up his pace.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at lap times this next time by. Obviously, someone like Maxwell Caldwell just laying down blistering fast laps right now. Caldwell just did a 30.34. I think a lap or two before that, he set the fastest lap of the race at 30.25. So he's going.
Yeah, and if he can track down and kind of knock off Kevin Freese's pace right now, by the time Kevin gets out, he might be a couple seconds behind him. With making Kevin having to work and drive his car a little bit fast to catch back up to Maxwell Caldwell with the pit strategy. But with these guys coming in early, everything might kind of balance out once it's all said and done with.
Yeah, honestly, again, I was very surprised with Caldwell pitting when he did, but this could work out for him. I still think a one-stop strategy is the way to go, but these races always surprise me, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, definitely. I always err on the side of running as long as possible, just hoping for other people to be forced to go back in again to reset their tires, while I only have to go in the one time to reset everything. So I always like to stay out as long as possible, even if I might be one of the slowest cars. But that gives me a chance to kind of reset everything and not use up my utility of my tires.
Well, it's also I'm awful at pit stops, so any opportunity I get to cut out a stop, and also potentially you never know, you stay out longer, you might get a caution, and then you don't have to pit under green, and those are always the most relieving things in the world to me.
Yeah, with a track like this, I didn't even think about pitting, and I think looking at the pit entry, it looks like you're constantly turning. You might have to be out of the gas in the middle of turn 3 just so you can make it all the way down there, even though you're running the bottom line anyhow. This looks like to be a pretty arcing corner, and looking at the pit exit, which another thing I didn't look at, but looks like you have to go all the way on the apron as well. So that's going to be a little bit weird for these guys to get up to speed fully. So, looking at the times, Maxwell Caldwell is still running 30.2s. To Kevin Freese's 30.35. And Kevin Freese spins. Oh my gosh, I think he'll make it. I think he will make it under the cone, but that is a lot of time lost right there.
Wow, that's. I'm not sure if he was trying to pit or not, but let's go back and take a look, because that's very uncharacteristic from Kevin Freese. No, I think he might have just lost it. I don't know. I thought he was losing it there for a second. It definitely looks a little loose. Maybe a little push loose there.
Yeah, I can't really tell. It looks like you still trying to come off the corner decently, and then I don't know if he had a last-second decision to try to pit, but obviously, we just talked about how hard it is to probably get on this pit lane.
Oh, there. Yeah, I think he just lost it. It doesn't look like he was trying to get down the pit road. Man, I'll tell you what. Obviously, he lost a lot of time there. That's not ideal, but I mean, he should probably be thankful the caution didn't come out, because that would have packed the field back up.
Yeah, I don't think he definitely wants that after having to use his tires. So I think at this point, he's good where he's at, but I don't think he wanted to do anything like that. So with his saving grace, now that he knows that these guys have to pit twice, as Gabe Butler comes in and almost spins.
Yeah. Oh, Gabe Butler almost spins. Yeah, but James Ledford also in lap 45, as I expected, trying to cut it right down the middle.
Oh my God, these guys are all over the place right now. Just so many strategies are being played out in front of us.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it's one of those things that's really fun. We're going to see, how to work out. I'm going to ask, to our people out there watching, if you've got any opinions here. What do you think? One stop or two stop? Which are you doing here? Which do you think is going to prevail tonight?
Oh, you asking me or the viewers?
Asking the viewers here. Asking if we're looking at one stop or two stop, because I've made it pretty clear my opinion is one stop. But I'm curious where you at?
Looking at how things are playing out, just knowing that the tires do wear off, and we're seeing people spin late into the run a little bit and still get into the wall. I would have to say two. I think if you have the speed and you have the consistency, two tires, and you use them all up, I think I'm on the two-stop train.
Well, Kevin Freese just set the fastest lap of the race. Check this out. The previous fastest lap of the race was 30.25. Kevin Freese did close to 30 even.
That's blazing.
Yes, he is moving. Now, that being said, he has to move. Maxwell Caldwell in first is 11 and a half seconds ahead of him right now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see that time possibly slowly start chipping down and chipping away, but not sure. When the next pit strategy is going to happen for these guys. We saw them come in at 33, lap 44, lap 46, lap 45 for some of these guys. So everyone's pretty much offset. They might come in one by one again, and then someone stays out. But looking at the times, is still holding right around 10 seconds, 11 seconds, like you were saying, and we'll see if it tries to come down.
Yeah, if I'm Maxwell Caldwell, and if I am doing two-step strategy, which I think he has to, I'm probably going to come in you schedule around 60. I would come in a little bit earlier because there's no worse feeling than being really fast and not having time to do anything with it.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I would hate to have. I don't ever usually get that opportunity unless I have fresh tires and everyone else is something like 20 or 25 lap old tires in my official racing or sometimes NIS events. But when you do have that potential to outclass everybody in the field and you don't actually get a chance to use it, kind of just like Gael and his his field strategies. A lot of times he doesn't get a chance to showcase it. It's just something that feels undone, left unfinished. So I would hope that he's able to do that and use all his speed. I do want to see a good fight here.
Well, we were talking about how fast Kevin Freese was. He just set a 30.5 that lap, which is actually a little bit slower than our leader. So he actually lost a little bit. Or sorry, no, sorry, our leader's 31.43, so he was a full second faster. Sorry, I misread that. So he's still gaining, although his tires do seem to be falling off pretty rapidly.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see what's going on. I think, obviously he's knocked off a couple of seconds to this lead, as well as some people in the back, like Gabe Butler. I know he just came to the pits, and looking at what these guys are doing, I almost want to see a reset just to see if these guys, now they got some confidence and about 50 laps on this track to see what they can do with the last 40.
Yeah, we need an admin here. Just throw an admin call in.
Just a beer can, some debris,
yeah.
a hot dog wrapper, or something.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Get everybody back on the lead lap as well. You go ahead and you join the race and run some laps. And you should run some backwards laps, and we'll see what happens.
I'll just ask my pit crew to get the lug nuts a little loose, just so I can run the corner, smack the wall, and then the tire comes off.
Well, honestly, I find it really interesting right now. We've got second through fifth right now are Chase Championship contenders. First place, though, guy not in the battle, Maxwell Caldwell again. Currently, obviously running much slower laps in second place with fresher tires. You can see it up on that map in the top right. It's either entering 3. Kevin Freese is on the backstretch. So about a corner apart, and it's closing. Maxwell Caldwell's coming in.
Yeah, he's coming in. No spins. Like he wiggled just a little bit, but clean entry right there.
Yep.
And I think that's very ideal.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what you got to do with this strategy. Is he probably went out there. He probably had it in his head that he was going to run this stint short, run those things, run that car hard as you can, and come in shortstop, be a little more conservative this time, and get back that lead.
Yeah, Gabe Butler goes by him, and James Leffert goes by him. We'll see what the rest of these guys do, and let's see how far he can kind of stretch this out here. Now it's going to be less than 40 laps to go.
Yeah, this whole thing is wide open now. I honestly don't know how it's going to play out, but I'm excited to see is with all that, Gabe Butler moving to second. Hasn't had the best season in these cars, but obviously a chase contender. Having a good night so far.
Yeah, I think it's been a good night for some of these people. I know I think we lost, I don't know, Richard Brennan. Yeah, Richard Brennan didn't start this race. But looking at some of these other guys, Vincent Guerrero, just being here is a already net positive for the situation that some of these guys, are trying to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gabe Butler looking, if we were to hold up right now, second place finish. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that would be his best finish of the season in this series. That's a good, solid night.
Yeah, I can't complain if even if I was running around by myself in last place. If I knew that by the end of the night I would be moving up in points a significant amount, I would be by myself, enjoying my time with a smile on my face if I knew that that was going to be the outcome.
All right, we're focused here on James Ledford, also having a solid night. Currently, a little ways back. He's 20 seconds back from the lead, but running in third right now.
Yeah, good run so far. He hit on lap 45, and the person in front of him, Gabe Butler, hit on lap 46. So a little bit older tires, but we're looking at the gaps here, and how far these guys can push it. Currently, James Ledford is just a little bit slower on the pace than Gabe Butler is, but in comparison to what Kevin Freese has been running, I think that's still exceptional.
All right, we're going to cut back here and look at Maxwell Caldwell, who is in fourth. He is currently one lap down. Looking at lap times, he is about a half second faster than our leader. So the question now becomes, is that enough?
Oh, oof, man, I feel like it's gonna be close. It's either gonna be very close or very far off, and I honestly cannot tell you, what my thought process is gonna be at that. I think they're gonna be close if things kind of run the way that they are, and we saw at the end of these runs that these guys are making a lot more mistakes. So I think it's anybody's shot.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, there's always a chance, you get guys that start really pushing, trying to do too much, and you end up with a caution. So we'll have to see. But, just based on the lap times right now, looking, we get 39 to go. It's going to be tough here for Maxwell Caldwell. He's basically got to gain a lap and a half, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to look at the position on the map. No, actually, no, sorry. He's about to actually get back on the lead lap. So he basically has to gain a full lap over these next 30 laps.
Oh, that might be a little bit too difficult with time running down. We got about 30 laps left in this race, and unless he stays at such an exorbitant pace, and everyone else kind of gets a little bit slower, it might not work out for him. But obviously we just say he unlapped himself.
Honestly, the best strategy here might just be to wreck Kevin as he's going by.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't have to fight him.
Well, as we see, Maxwell's going on the inside. Kevin lets him by, no issue there. Not a surprise. And honestly, Kevin Freese wise to do that. No reason to battle. Also, you tuck in behind him, use that draft for a little bit.
Yeah, if I was him, I probably would have tied a little bit of an anchor, tossed it on the back of his car, and then hopefully he didn't notice as I come back around and try to pass him again.
Yeah, that's the crossover there, I guess, in a way. But yeah, so we are at 26 laps to go. Maxwell Caldwell has to make up about a full lap, which is 45 seconds? Oh, sorry, no, I misread that. 30 seconds. So, and currently he is about a half second to the good. That math isn't adding up to me.
Yeah, well, obviously Kevin went in lap 44, so I think when everything else is said and done, I feel like if the pace keeps going the way it is, I think Maxwell will finish this race as he comes across the line. He'll probably be about half a lap back, so probably coming into turn 3 and 4 when the race is said and over with. So I think that's gonna be the gap because he's already one turn ahead.
Yeah, and honestly, I imagine Kevin Freese is just feeling like this is like a Sunday drive out there for him. Just kind of cruising along. Nobody really around him. He's got Maxwell just a little bit ahead of him, but no stress for him right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is at this point, these guys just need to make sure that they're kind of in their Sunday drive kind of cruise mode, where they're not absolutely trying to haul this thing around the track. But Maxwell Caldwell is probably the only guy that really needs to start bumming it around here.
Yeah, Caldwell's got to go. He's got to have some urgency to it. right now what I'm seeing, last laps, he was about a quarter of a second faster. That's not nearly enough.
Yeah, not enough, but still a good run, good strategy to call.
Yeah, I mean, when he was running behind Kevin Freese, I mean, there's a good chance that he just realized, like, I'm not faster than him. This is not going to work. I've got to try something different.
Yeah, and obviously we had that spin from earlier, I think, from Kevin Freese, and that kind of shook things up just a little bit. But I think with everything said and done, he was still far out enough to kind of make this work for himself.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is. It might have been a different situation if Maxwell Caldwell had been on his bumper and done a one-stop strategy when that happened. But it's clear that the two-stop strategy just doesn't seem like it was going to work. Like, maybe if we were running like 100 laps or even 110, it'd be a little bit different picture. But right now, I mean, it looks like the one-stop strategy is the way to go.
Yeah, you would have definitely won this bet as Maxwell Caldwell gets into the wall slightly, just a little bit of a kiss, but yeah, you would have definitely won this bet if we put money on it. So good call to you so far as things are working out. But I think I'm still partial to just two stopping and seeing what my speed can do, unless I was probably up front with these guys. But I think I tried to stop as many times as possible and try to get the runs that I can. Before my tire fall off goes completely in the dirt.
Well, now the question of what can Maxwell Caldwell gain back? You get Ledford in front of him 5 seconds ahead. I think he'll be able to catch Ledford. He's about a half second faster, assuming he doesn't have experienced dramatic fall off. Should be able to catch him. But Ledford, look, I mean, he's a championship contender. He's going to push it as well.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if James Ledford's going to let him by. I would try to fight for that position as much as possible, and give him the dirty air, block him as much as possible with the time coming down to around 4 seconds. But I think if the guy's faster, there's no reason to absolutely block him and just throw a bunch of leaves at him. So. I think you do what you can to make the guy slower, but you make sure that he has to work for it.
Yeah, 100%. And you don't want to show bad racecraft or anything like that, but there are ways you can use your car to influence another car without directly driving forward.
Yeah, definitely, and you just kind of have to use that to your advantage, and I think that comes with skill and time that these guys have. As I hear one car in the wall somewhere around the track. I heard some crunching around here. Might have been Vicente Guerrero or possibly Eric Gordon, but I definitely heard somebody around the track a little bit slow.
Yeah, I obviously it's showing a vent for it, but yeah, Eric Glory got around Vincent Guerrero. We'll see what time that was. I don't know what timestamp matches up to, but because the setup's all weird. But yeah, Eric Glory looking like he's setting himself up for a top 5. He's got slightly older tires than Vincent Guerrero, but I would say they're about even overall on tires.
Yeah, I think it was Vicente that got to the wall. Looking at the lap times, he was about 3 or 4 seconds slower than the normal pace that he was running. So he might have just slightly got to the wall, just had to get off it real quick. And we're talking about top 5s here. Eric Ward just got to the top 5s as he spins. Eric Ward spins. He keeps it in the grass. I'm not sure if he's going to come back onto the track. That will not be a yellow, but that would be a definite blow to the heart right there.
Yeah, really good job keeping it, because honestly, I've seen that happen a lot of times where guys have control of it as they're exiting that grass, and that transition happens and they just lose it. So I was really worried we were still going to get caution there, but we were still green.
That was pretty crazy. I was hoping he would save the car and hopefully not come back out to the track. But a little bit of me kind of wanted him to bring out that yellow, have the flagman wake up and try to make something happen there.
I'll tell you what, a yellow coming out would have been very interesting when you've got Maxwell Caldwell there on 10 lap pressure tires than the guys in front of him, And then Vincent Guerrero, Eric Laurie on even, 15-lap pressure tires. So, yeah, it would have been interesting, but we are still green, and that's the way we want it, honestly.
Yeah, we definitely want a green. Here at Green White Checkered, that's kind of what we want to see. We just want to see the green and the white and the checkered. Not necessarily yellows. Obviously that will make this a little bit more prolonged. But as much as we love seeing you guys, we definitely want our guys to have as much fun here, being respectful and clean to each other. So definitely want to see this thing go green to the end as we're coming to we're on lap 75 and 90.
Yeah, we are getting very close here. Honestly, looking at Maxwell Caldwell's lap times, they are about even with our leader now. Honestly, even throughout the field for the most part, with the exception of Vincent Guerrero, who is setting down pretty fast laps with his fresh tires. But I would have to say, unless there's a mistake, this is Kevin Freese's race to lose.
Yeah, no, we already seen him make one mistake that was almost detrimental to the potential victory that he might have had, or he's probably manifesting right now. But unless he does that again, I think this race is his. Maxwell Caldwell is only just a little bit ahead of him, so it doesn't look like he's making that much ground up anymore.
Yeah, Caldwell's last lap was a 31.41. Kevin's was a 31.37. So I guess Caldwell's actually a little bit slower that time. So yeah, it's looks like he might have just burned this stuff up trying to gain what he could.
Yeah, definitely, and he tried to make a call, tried to make it work. He put on lap 55 to Kevin Freese's 44. So 11 lap difference there, but just the way these guys were running, it was definitely worth the strategy call. I think. Fortunately, it's just probably not going to work out for him.
So I'm going to go back to Caldwell here. We're going to go to the bull bar because he's about 4 seconds back. I want you guys to see a little tiny dot there entering the corner. That is James Ledford in third place in front of him. So that if Caldwell wants to gain any ground, any positions, that's what he has to make up. I think that Gabe Butler is out of reach in 10 seconds. So that right there is what I'm looking at as the potential for the most likely pass. He's going to have to go with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely, and we're talking about our top 3 here, people that we're going to want to talk to. I know somebody like James Ledford definitely wants to talk to us. He doesn't want to let Maxwell, Caldwell, take his spot. We're looking at the guys that we want to talk to. So a little bit of incentives there, I want to say, for these guys to go just a little bit faster and try to get this gaps down.
Yeah, I think it's really honestly it's really cool being in the top 3, getting interviewed. It's always something in the back of your mind, especially if you're a guy like Ledford who doesn't get pulled up a lot. Like, you're gonna do what you can to try to keep that position. So we'll have to see if that works out as a benefit for him, or probably gonna get in his own head and mess up.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't get interviewed too often. I don't necessarily finish as high, but I do know that once I cross that line, I look, I'm like, oh, I'm in the podium. I'm going to get interviewed. I kind of just sit there. I'm giddy. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what questions they're going to ask, but it's always a fun time to kind of talk to the broadcasters from this end. Definitely something that's cool to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Focused here on Gabe Butler. I haven't talked about him in a little bit. Running in second. Currently the most positions gained on the track, 2 spots. Setting up for a really good point tonight for him.
Yeah, and obviously we talked about how there's not that many people. All he had to do was pass 2 people. I forgot where he started, but looking at the stats there, he's kind of had things locked up from the beginning. Yeah,
I mean, really solid night. Looking at the leaderboard right now, top 3 guys are the ones that did the 1-stop strategy. The 4 through 6 are guys with the 2-stop strategy. So, I mean, it's pretty clear which one won out here. But we're just going to see again. Maxwell Caldwell is the one that I'm keeping an eye on. He has closed that gap to under 5 seconds, but time is rapidly running out here.
Yeah, definitely, and we might have a good battle here with the next 5 laps or so. If the pace kind of changes, shifts in a different direction. But I think overall, if I had to say, this has been a pretty good race as Vicente Guerrero gets passed by Kevin Freeze.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people, possibly drivers out there, would feel disappointed running with I think it's actually 6 cars in the race, but honestly, those can be a lot of fun as well. You can race the guys around you, and I imagine they're going to last right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing right now is it's an important lesson to kind of just figure out, hey, these guys have been either way behind me or way in front of me throughout the season. Now I get a chance to be closer to them at the start of the race to figure out, what really makes them, separated from what I've been doing, or what have I been doing to separate myself from the pack. As Vicente is going around with Kevin Freeze there might be a little bit of a battle, even though it's not for position.
Yeah, obviously Vicente's on much fresher tires. You see a little bobble from Freeze there.
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't turn into anything too dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything. There's no any dirty driving or anything there from Guerrero, but you've got fresher tires. You're wanting to go. I completely get it.
Yeah, you just gotta hope that the guy in front of you, we just talk about fresher tires, so you just gotta hope that you can make a clean move, and with him being the leader, he doesn't necessarily have to worry about anybody chasing him down with less than a lap to go. But I'll kind of let him go. I don't wanna risk my race to get wrecked by a lap car, with less than 2 laps to go.
The white flag is out. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. At the same time, especially in a smaller field like that, because I think there are a lot of people who go and say what Guerrero's doing is poor form. Like, you're a lap down. Why are you doing this? And actually, he's 3 laps down. Why are you doing this? But look, it's a small field. You're out there to race. Like, you're wanting to race. Like, why not race? And I imagine that Kevin Freeze is in the same situation as we exit turn 4. And Guerrero almost loses it, but your winner, Kevin Freeze, goes across the line. We're going to have to wait here for a little bit before we get second, because second place is just now entering turn 3.
Yeah. Masterclass clinic right there. Pretty big gap to the win right there. I think it was 19 seconds, 20 seconds to Gabe Butler.
Yeah. Incredible win by Kevin Freeze. He all made us think there was a chance that someone else might win. And when he did the spin, and then nope, that wasn't going to work out. We got our results up. Results are ready. Your winner, Kevin Freeze, and 21.269 seconds behind his teammate, Gabe Butler. James Ledford finished 3rd. Maxwell Caldwell in 4th. Vincent Guerrero in 5th. And in 6th is Eric Laurie. All right, let's take a look here. Take a gander, see who we've got in chat. I don't think we have... We don't have James. Oh, we have James Ledford. Okay, there he is. Let's go ahead and pull James up. Hey, James, it's Carl and Chris in the booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, heck of a finish tonight. Solid points run for you, finishing 3rd. How's it feel?
It was a fun race. I think I drove a little too hard in the first run, so I was trying to save my tires a little bit better on the second run.
Yeah, we were watching that up here, and just with the strategies that everyone was kind of running. Was there anything that you guys were trying to do? I know everyone was kind of trying to run the bottom line and get as fast as possible, but we did see once you guys started wearing your tires that everyone was kind of going to the middle, trying to kind of search for what they could find, and unfortunately, some people started finding the wall.
I didn't change my groove. I was kind of running the same groove, trying to run the bottom in the middle of the corner. But I think on the first run, trying to keep up with Kevin, I think I was pushing a little too hard, and I think I got into a wall at one point.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I was saying last week when I was out on the track, I was up front, with the leaders. I think I was running 4th, and I did the exact same thing I had my teammate telling me like, back off, back off. I'm like, no, I'm as fast as them, but I wasn't. I just thought I was.
Yeah.
So gotta ask you. Like I said, really good points finish tonight. I know it was a smaller field, but you gotta take those wins where you can get them. I imagine points aren't updated yet because Gael is out. But let's take a look, see if they are by any chance. But with the points finished tonight, obviously helped you out a lot. What's your approach going into our finale next week?
Try to finish the best I can in the race.
It's a pretty solid strategy. I can't argue with that. Um, well, before we let you go here, do you have any shout outs or anything you'd like to give?
Shout out to the league for running this series. I'm not the best in this car. This is my first time racing it in this series, but I'm having a lot of fun racing this car. And shout out to you guys in the broadcast booth for broadcasting each race. It's a lot of fun to go back and watch the broadcast after the race.
Yeah, sure thing, man. And hey, I have to say, if you think you're not very good, like you and I have run together a lot this season, so I think you run pretty well. You run clean, so a good finish for you tonight.
Thanks. It was a fun race.
All right, we'll go ahead and send you back down. Thank you very much. All right, that was James Ledford. And how about we bring up Gabe Butler? Hey, Gabe, it's Chris and Carl in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, fellas. What's going on?
Hey, this is my, I guess, second time talking to you in 4 days. Yeah, pretty sure you finished inside top 3 on Sunday. How's it feel to have a pretty solid finish tonight?
Well, I was hoping for a top 10.
that was a tough one to do tonight.
Yeah. I wouldn't be one to be expected to do well at one of these tracks, so I'll take a P2, even though there was only a few of us in here.
Well, we were kind of looking at the strategy and a lot of the fuel call, not the fuel, but the tire calls that these guys are making, and seems like some people, I would say probably 3 or 4, well, I guess half the field has some issues trying to get to pit road. Was there anything just like you guys just didn't know where necessary, how to arc it in or get off the gas? It seems like even the leader, Kevin Freeze, he had a massive spin and almost brought out the yellow.
Yeah. Well, both him and I had our brake bias set all the way to the back, to the rear for the race, and he forgot to put his back forward for when he pit, so that's why he almost spun out. Yeah, so he pitted a lap before me, and I would have forgot if he hadn't have said something. He said, "Oh, I forgot to put my brake bias forward." So the minute he said that, I put mine forward right away and pitted a lap or 2 later, and was able to get down pretty easy.
That explains a lot. We were wondering what happened. I wasn't sure if he was trying to pit or it was very uncharacteristic, but really fortunate for you there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So next week, we're going to Homestead, which I think is one of the best tracks in the world. Love Homestead. What's your approach going to be for next week?
Same thing, but I'll be honest, I'm pretty useless at Homestead. I've only ran it maybe 3 or 4 times, and it was a disaster. So I'll try and not have a disaster and just stay in the race, hopefully, and see what happens.
Well, one strategy I can suggest for you is on the pace lap, just wreck your teammates.
I could try that. That normally works pretty good for me.
I'm just saying, might improve your finish, but hey, still...
it would definitely improve my finish there. I can tell you.
Well, as long as we're not on a super speedway, and then,
right.
Really great run tonight, Gabe. Any shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
I'll shout out to you guys in the booth, of course, for having the patience to do this broadcast, and for the drivers that turned up tonight in the course area 51 for putting on this league. These cars are fun, they're hard, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens next week.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, thank you for talking with us, and I guess I'll have a chance talking with you Sunday night.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right, thanks, Gabe.
Yeah, see you.
All right, that was our second place finisher, Gabe Butler. And let's go ahead and bring up our race winner, Kevin Freese, our race winner. How you doing, Kevin?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
And I'm doing great. I kind of hate that we already had it spoiled by your teammate about what happened on pit road entry
Oh,
for
yeah.
you there. But I've got to ask you anyways. How'd you forget to change your brake bias, Kevin?
I've done that like at least 2 times this season already. And I'm going in, I'm like, oh, I'm good. Oh my God, I'm sideways, and it's too late. But yeah, that just made it a little more interesting, a little more fun.
Yeah, it definitely did. We were kind of hoping that there might have been the caution to bring you guys closer together because early on in the first part of the run, you guys were honestly kind of just nose to tail, and at one point you guys would kind of stretch apart, then come right back close again. And for second place, there was almost a 3-car battle, and then eventually people started to slip and slide. But early on, was there anything that you learned during the first run that you could take advantage of in the second one?
I actually burnt my tires up worse in that second run than the first run because I thought that Maxwell would make up more time with the 2 stops that he was doing versus the 1 stop. But I guess the fall off wasn't as big as I thought it would be, and I really was expecting. I don't know. I was expecting it to play out differently with that, with how much time you would make up. But we only fell off. I think it was like maybe a second and a half over the course of the whole run.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's hard to do a 2-stop strategy when it's that little of fall off, unless you are just absolutely murdering it every single lap. So, it's hard. I wish tonight's car count was obviously better than it was. I think every single person wishes that, but there was a bunch of people. It's hard this time of the year with people on vacation and all that. So I still appreciate Area 51 for putting on these races for us.
Yeah, 100%. So I've got to ask you, we won't be running this car next season. We've got one more race in this car. We saw, tonight you were dominant, and obviously you were around other cars during that time. Can you share a little bit, putting on your analysis hat a little bit, anything you can share that you think you were doing different that other guys weren't?
Yeah, I actually found this track is very different from any other track that we run, in the fact that it felt going into the corner, if I didn't charge the corner a little bit, like I wasn't really backing up the corner as much as I anticipated I would be going into the session itself. But in practice, if I entered the corner and just let it roll a little bit, it was just pattering the tires up the track. So I was through all of the brake bias, as you heard about my pit entry. I threw it all to the back and was just trying to get in there pretty strong, and then just get the car to rotate through the brake and the throttle, because it still tried to push up the track, even when I was on the brake. So it was just like you manipulate that rear tire just a little bit. And that's why on the first run, I think Maxwell said he had 70% on both of his tires, and mine was my right rear tire. I had 69 on my right front, but my right rear was down to 59. And I think that was just purely because I was trying to use it to turn the car. But this car, you just have to figure it out. You find something that doesn't work, go back to the drawing board, try something else, and it's all trial and error. It's a difficult car to drive, but you got to find a way to manipulate the horsepower into your advantage when in like it's a tight track that doesn't have a ton of grip. And then you also have to be very patient on the throttle coming back out of the corner, because just that little bit can make it so you don't get as loose as you could if you just murdered them, like basically using it like a light switch.
Gotcha. Well, so next week, it looks like, I would imagine based on looking at our standings, you should be our points leader going into next week with our championship battle. Obviously,
Just
don't know if
in
you're
time for me to go on vacation.
Oh, you're gonna be gone next week?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about this time of the year, but everybody needs their breaks. It's really hard across all leagues. You'll find that it just goes up and down throughout the course of the year, and the summer is just really hard for everybody because you have all these vacation times, and you
Yeah.
want people to take their time with their family because that, as we all know, that's way more important than hopping on here with the sim. It's fun to do it, but everybody needs a break.
yeah, 100%. And I'm actually, next week I'm gonna be missing the race as well because I'll be in Nashville for the IndyCar race.
Nice.
So yeah, I feel you there. Do you happen to know if I know that Sebastian was out tonight? Do you know if he'll be back next week?
I hope so. He's actually running NIS right now, so he's gonna get back to me later. Because I messaged him pre-race. I'm like, hey, come on, it's Nashville. And yeah, he didn't answer me until after we were done running, but he was busy with family stuff. So it stinks for the attendance, but I totally get these people.
Yeah,
missing.
100%. Certainly hate it because the car and this track's so much fun to run. So yeah, before we let you go, you got any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, thank you to you guys for putting on the broadcast. It can be tough with the smaller fields, finding something to point out, to analyze, all of that. So I really appreciate you guys sticking through this for this broadcast. And thank you to the guys who came out tonight. And for Yale, for all the work he's doing behind the scenes, getting this, wrapping these seasons up across all the Area 51 series, and already hitting the ground running for next season to make sure that everything is all set to go. So I really appreciate all the work he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and send you back down. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. Chris, any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. This was a fun race. We didn't have that many people as usual, and obviously we would love to have more drivers here. So if you guys are watching, you're not currently in this league, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll try to give you a try here. I think we definitely will love some more people here. This track is fun. I honestly love Nashville. That I love this track so much that I think I might want to buy a race ticket for next year. And I kind of hope that IndyCar or somebody else starts running here. This is a very fun track, and glad it's back.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier I'm being in Nashville for the IndyCar race. They're obviously on the streets of Nashville, and it's always a lot of fun. But it keeps driving me crazy. I'm going up there, and it's just like, man, I want to go to the Superspeedway one day. So it's a great track. Had a great time tonight. So yeah, that'll do it for us tonight. On behalf of myself, Chris Matthews, the entire Green White Checker crew, I want to say so long and thank you for watching. Have a good night.